All right, WestShoreJabs, how's it going?
How we doing, Cam? How we doing?
Everything's good, man. So, I've been checking out your stuff, man. You got a lot going on. You got a lot of music going on. I wouldn't expect that from somebody way out in Rhode Island.
Yeah, man. I'm just trying to get my stuff out there. I might have showed up to the wrong place, Cam. I don't know if I'm in the. I wore a tie here. I thought I was showing up to an interview, but we're doing an interview about my music.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, so I don't need this.
Nope, you don't need it.
All right, all right. Just brought it in case. I wanted to look a little professional, so that my first look in the industry wasn't bad. I always get a bad rap, especially being from Rhode Island. So I want to make sure I came in business professional. We showed up a little early today. I just figured
I hear you, man. It's Rhode Island is a place we don't really connect with hip hop too much.
nah, not at all. I mean, we got a local scene, but a lot of people are still here.
Yeah. Okay. So, is that where you grew up? You grew up in Rhode Island?
Yeah, born and raised where the airport is, Warwick.
Now, growing up in Rhode Island, it seems like a place that not a lot of people talk about. What was it like for you growing up there?
It was cool. It was quiet. I'm from a suburb, so it was really like nothing going on. I mean, we rode our bikes around all day, got in a little trouble, and just it was regular.
So you grew up in a small city.
Yeah, yeah, like really small. It was like 100,000 people or something. So we don't even have like full on transportation or nothing. Even Rhode Island in general is just one big city, so everybody know everybody around here.
Okay. Now, growing up, you said you were just riding bikes, going around, going around Rhode Island, getting a little bit of trouble. What was school like for you over there?
It was cool. I went to private schools my whole life. I went to like little like Catholic schools. My mom's a teacher, so I just went to like you know, little places.
Okay. Oh, so you went to private school. So you went to a Catholic school?
Yeah, yeah. I wore a tie.
Okay. Now, you're in school. You're in Catholic school. What's that like for you?
It was different. It was like small class sizes. I didn't really get along with a lot of the kids in Catholic school though. It was kind of like even in public school, just school in general for me. I didn't really have a lot of friends I came home with from school.
Why is that?
I don't know. You would have to ask them. I just didn't fit in. I was in like suburban school, so like I'm a mixed kid. Like my dad's black, my mom's mixed, so it's just a little like dynamic.
Okay, you think that you're being mixed had anything to do with it?
I think it opened the door for it. When kids like hazing and as a young kid, I was emotional. You know what I'm saying? I just acted out of emotion and just kind of like, you know, caused some issues here and there. I got in a little bit of trouble in school, but I was a good student though. I had decent grades. I wasn't like staying back or nothing. I was a good student. It just
Now as you're growing up in Rhode Island, there's probably not a lot going on hip hop wise. What made you want to start rapping?
uh I didn't even really start making music till I was like 17, 18. I didn't finish or I didn't do any music till I finished high school. Um, but like as a kid, I knew a couple people that had made music like through mutual people. Like I just see them on the internet. Like one of my childhood friends was like his older cousin made music, so we just kind of looked at that and we would always like play beats and stuff. It gave me like a little ear to it. And then when I graduated school, I just kind of fell into it. A couple people I met were like, "Oh, I got a studio at the house, come record something," and I was like, "Let me go try it out." But Yeah, not in specific, man. I was just like a distracted little teenager that just started making music.
Now, being that you didn't really, have any rappers or anything from Rhode Island, at least not no famous ones. You're out there in Rhode Island. Who are you listening to? Who are your inspirations music wise?
Oh man, when I first started making music, it was a different scene out here than it is today. Like there's a lot of stuff going on, man, in Rhode Island that is completely different from when it was when I started making music. You gotta think I've been making music like a decade, Cam. I'm a rap dinosaur for real, for real. I just stayed the course, you know. But when I first started making music, it was like J Deuce. They had Key Money, Vic Mucka, um, King OSF. That was Rhode Island back then. Like a grind time tech. Um, it's nobody that anybody anybody outside of New England might know or anything like that. But out here, they were making the summertime anthems.
So you guys had rappers that were popular locally.
Super popular, and I mean like they're doing like the big venues out here. Um, it's just Rhode Island. Like when I I don't know, Cam. Let me put it like this. I don't think Rhode Island gets fair play in the industry. So yeah, they ran Rhode Island, but when they went other places, it was like you not we're not gonna give you the pass to you know how the industry go.
Yeah, I hear you. It's a, things can be difficult in the business. So, but you guys are in Rhode Island. They got their own scene out there, so that's actually a good thing. You guys can kind of, what I'm saying, control things if people come to your town at least. But, who were some rappers that you guys were looking up to at the time?
Um, I don't really know who were like.
Who were you listening to?
Oh man, me personally, I would listen to like growing up in like high school. I was listening to like Nipsey Hussle, Kendrick Lamar, yeah, like Jim Jones. You had it was like a whole wave in hip hop. Big Sean, Two Chains, all that, right? I had the Two Chains album. I had the Good Kid, Mad City album, like the physical ones. That's everybody out here was kind of a fan of somebody else from somewhere else, you know? And we just kind of out here, we just kind of go with whatever the industry throws at us. We'll have a couple local people, if you got like a friend that listens to music out here, you might play him, but you're not playing, everybody in Rhode Island, you know?
Okay, now let's go back a little bit. We talked about growing up a little bit. What was high school like for you?
High school was fun. I was probably on my best behavior in high school. Um, my mom taught at the high school I went to, so it was interesting. I don't think I had like I don't think it was the coolest school to go to, but it was cool because at my age, all I care about is the fact that I got like a positive education about it. You know, like it is one of the best educational programs in the state. I got to go to for free tuition. It's an expensive school, but I got to go for free because my mom taught there. So it was an opportunity more so because if I would have went to my local city school, it would have been they just have a poor educational system.
I hear that. Well, okay. Now you're in high school. And you say you didn't start rapping until you were 17. You decided to try it with a friend. How did that go? Did you have to like study anybody? Did you study any rappers, or did you
Yeah,
just go in there and just be like, it is what it is?
man, I feel like my first few times in the studio, I had to learn what I was doing, but I also invented stuff. Like I feel like when I started back in 2012, 2013, I was kind of one of the first punch rappers, if you would, where they rapping super fast, but you punching in. But at the time, that wasn't really the style. So I had learned some things from some other artists to try to figure out where I could kind of sit in a acceptable like sound with people, you know? Because sometimes I'll just be on there just rambling, rah rah rah, you know. But how this new wave of artists sound right now, like you hear like a Q50 or you hear like one of those like punch rappers that's rapping like that. I was doing that back in like 2012, 2013 by accident. And then I kind of worked some stuff around it, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Well.
I had people coming up to me and telling me like, yo, you know, you saying too much. And at the time, I'm not recording, you know, like crazy songs or anything. I just had a couple thousand views that people like, you know, on my songs. And I just started putting together from other artists and from other people telling me, yo, I like it if you said it like this. I make them something like that. And they come back and be like, yo, that was fire. Do it again. And I was really making like songs that were like for like 60 seconds, 65 seconds. And then people were like, yo, we like this. And then, you know, started to take it serious from there.
Now, at one point, you decided to take music serious.
Yeah, yeah. That's when people were like, yo, we like that. We like those little 60 seconds you doing in the songs, man. Like I had this song called West Shore. You know, my name, WestShoreJabs. At the time, it was just something I recorded in the house, just messing around, trying to get a little hook or something like that. And I played it for my friend, and he was like, yo, this goes. And we posted it with a little music video, and it went super viral because I was unapologetically me. Like, you gotta think, I'm sitting in a song, rapping like I do, you know, I'm sure you heard some of my music. I'm rapping like I do. And I think it just hit for people, you know? And the song a minute long, so they just saw it like, it was almost like a reel before reels were a thing, you know? And it did a couple thousand. And I was like, all right. That's when I started buckling down and putting pieces in my studio because I had a little setup already. But I had started putting pieces in my studio that were just like bringing my quality to a professional level. I learned how to write like full songs. And then I just said, all right.
Now, did you ever feel like, because you were in Rhode Island, that you needed to go to like a big city, like maybe a Boston or a
Yeah.
New York or something like that to really make it and to be heard and to, you know, get on somebody's radar?
Yeah, all the time, man. I remember road trips to New York, Jersey. We went to Philly. We went to Philly in like 2020, like right when the Philly drill scene was starting. I've been going to a bunch of different places just trying to get my music out there and like mingle with their scene, you know? I go out one of their places and just start to do a show, do a music video with like a local videographer, or just, you know, mingle with the community to try to get my stuff to where it needed to be. You know, I felt like we were always fighting with our backs against the wall in Rhode Island. Everybody I know that did something with music, because there are some people that did something with music, you know, like shout out Jaleel, shout out, you know, Fully Loaded, a couple other people out here that's just doing their thing. But like, yeah, you know, you got a different scene out here that might not be attractive, so you got to go out to those other places that they might be attracted to you because you're new. You know what I'm saying? So that was my strategy early, was just go to a different city, get them to fall in love with you, come back home and be like, look at everybody love me, like, you know? Because out here you can only do so many circuits, like show circuits, before you on the ticket with the same people, you know? Everything you gotta pay for everything out here. So you get people that just they wasting $1,000 a month doing local shows. You know what I mean? So you got some reason to leave almost. You don't get a lot of love here.
What else is there to do in Rhode Island?
Man, eat some Iggy's.
Eat eat some what?
Eat some Iggy's, man.
What's
You
that?
ain't never had a Doughboy?
No, I don't know what the Iggy's
What?
is.
Man, what in the coffee milk I-95 traffic are you telling me right now, Cam? What in the what? How you ain't never heard of coffee milk or Iggy's? All right, so Iggy's is a little they call them a chowder house.
Okay.
It's like a little like seafood restaurant, but it's right in my hometown, so you go get some Iggy's. Rhode Island got some cool beaches though. Like if you take a trip out here with your girl or something like that, it's a cool little getaway. Ain't nobody gonna try to run up on you. Like we're not like a hostile place to visit.
Okay. Now you're in Rhode Island. You're trying to rap. Do you does you get a big break? Like, do any big rappers come to Rhode Island and perform, and you link up with them?
Nah, hey Cam, all them people are like they're like mythical creatures to me, bro. I ain't never met nobody in person with over like 50,000 followers on their Instagram. Actually, you know what? Shout out Super Ray. Shout out Super Ray. He a comedian. Super Ray 14K. He like on Instagram and stuff. I met him in person at the Comedy Connection when he came out. He was chilling outside. I pulled up, chopped it up. So what's up? Like I appreciate your stuff and stuff. He had shared some of my music. And yeah, but like I said, bro, I'm an internet junkie, man. I exist on the internet. Like I don't go to shows. I'm not like the dude to be like waiting in line or like in a crowd really. I got some going on, a dream I'm trying to chase, and I'll reach out to people on the internet and just be like, hey man, like how you want to do it. That's how I got the big features though. Like I've worked with some big names, but I ain't never met any of them.
What'd you do after high school?
Got a job. Got my job. I was working for my uncle, who's he was a ball player back in the day. He used to play for the team that played against the Globetrotters. And he just kind of made a name for himself and has his own little program. So he was opening up a gym. He had me and my cousins up there just working on his gym. And yeah, right out of high school, I went to like professional life, a little bit of some street stuff, and
Yeah, what is the gang life over there? Did you guys have any gangs or anything in Rhode Island?
yeah,
Okay. What kind of gangs do you guys got out there?
all of them. Rhode Island people come to Rhode Island, and you know, but
You guys got like little ghetto areas in Rhode Island?
yeah, I don't want to say ghetto, bro, because those people are cool people, but there's some rough places out here, but you know, for the people like if you from here and you're in something, it's not a lot, but you're gonna run into somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
Rhode
So you got
Island,
Bloods out there, Crips out there. What about like,
all type,
GDs, BDs?
all type,
So all that's made it out there.
everything.
What's like the biggest gang out there? Do you know?
Ah, let the people that want to gangbang on camera claim all that, and
Oh, okay. You guys got Mexican gangs out there?
yeah, I heard of some.
Okay.
Yeah, so some of that stuff is very localized though. Like you're not gonna go everywhere in Rhode Island and run into gangs. You're gonna run into like a biker crew. If you're looking for the streets in some places, it might be some old Italian mafia people that run that city. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. So you got Italian gangs and white gangs out there.
There's a lot of people out here that are in the mix in something, you know? Everybody in Rhode Island isn't just stuck to here. They might know somebody outside or outside influences come in, you know?
Is there a big Italian population over there?
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta go to this place called Federal Hill. They'll wait in line for you.
They'll wait in line for you. What do you mean?
Like they're just all up and down the sidewalk in Federal Hill, it's just all Italian restaurants. They throw like a festival for Italian people out there. A lot of like those crime documentaries from the mob got some Rhode Island ties. It's interesting out here. Like I said, it's like Rhode Island's a melting pot, man. It's like everybody from everywhere. You get like rednecks out here. You got Dominicans. You got Africans. You got like Caribbean people, Cape Verdeans. You know what a Cape Verdean is, Cam?
No, I don't. No.
Yeah, a Cape Verdean. That only exists from here to Boston. But I'm part Cape Verdean. My mom's mixed. She's mixed with Cape Verdean and French. And yeah, it's something unique to us. Like we got a whole little community of them. They're an island off the west coast of Africa.
Okay. Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you ain't gonna find any Cape Verdeans. That's why I asked, because once you go outside New England, nobody knows what a Cape Verdean is.
I mean, what is, to paint me like, a weekend out at Rhode Island. Like what are you doing? Where are you going? Where's the hot places? Like where's the fun places?
What you want to do, Cam? We got everything, but what you want to do? You want to get in some? You want to get in some late night activity? What you coming with your girl? You coming with your boys? Where you going?
I don't know. Just let me know, bro. I don't have no idea.
All right, so if you coming out here with your girl, you go to Newport. You go to Newport. It's right next to a military base, so you know it's safe. You know you're going to go outside on this street called Thames Street. It's where the World Tennis Hall of Fame something's over there. But, this is a nice little area. You get some ice cream, take a walk, spend about $1,000 in 2 hours. And, yeah. But if you trying to go, for the life, you go to Providence. And you go out maybe downtown to one of the bars or something like that. One of the lounges maybe on the south side. If you want a hookah lounge. They got a lot of hookah lounges out here, Cam. I don't even know if they have regular clubs. Everything got a section for a hookah.
Okay.
They pull up on Culture, too. Pull up on Culture Providence. Culture Lounge with a K. It's a nice little place. They have some nice little events over there. Rappers will pop out here. I'm not really an outside baby, Cam. I don't really, I don't traverse that no more. But, when it was me, it was like Nara. It was, what's that place? 1220. They got some cool places out here that you could just go. It's all low key though. Ain't no you ain't gonna find something like Miami where it's like Club Live. You paying $2,000 sections and stuff like that. You ain't gonna get that out here. You could go to Boston.
How far is Boston away from you?
No traffic, a half hour. Traffic, a day. Full day.
Okay, so, what is like the, scariest situation you ever been in your life?
Oh man, I wouldn't say scared about nothing, but I've been through some stuff. Some of the scariest stuff I can't really talk about, but ain't nothing crazy. I ain't into that stuff like in the mix like that no more. I ain't really have nobody threaten me like that, you know. I'm Jabs, man. I ain't no, you know, people know you could just throw the jabs with me, and that ain't
Okay,
that scary.
now you know you're growing up. Rhode Island's pretty small. You know, pretty quiet. You know, so what's the most exciting thing going on in your life? Is there anything going on, or you just everything just mellow?
Everything mellow. I like living a mellow life, Cam. I don't know. I think a lot of people expect rappers to be one of them glamorous people, but not a lot of people live like that. So
So what are
like,
you gonna do if you do blow up?
I'm gonna be normal. I'm gonna come outside with my dress hanging, you know, sun bleeding. I might be in some flip flops, you know. I I don't really move too different, you know, like especially like from where I started in music. I don't think anything has really forced me to change my lifestyle too much, you know. Like I kind of like Rhode Island. It's a cool little place. I don't see myself, you know, going out of pocket or like doing too much like the rapper lifestyle. So I don't know if I have to change much. Like stick to business, you know. Always stay working. Always keep making more. Keep the people entertained. But I ain't one of those people that like I see a goal and be like, yeah, now my attitude gonna change. If anything, I tell my people keep me in check and be like, make sure I'm like normal through this process.
So what all are you working on?
Just a bunch of music, man. I make these mixtapes with a bunch of remixes called Killing Season. It's like a whole series. I'm on Killing Season 5. We just did 4 last year. And you know, we coming back with the Space Jam series. I'm gonna give y'all another nice little feature. Um, you know, just some good little music for the people. Some crazy stuff behind that project too, you know, some this, you know, we're gonna have this, we're gonna have some visuals behind it. You know, I'm gonna hit them with the jabs, man. They just gonna have to get hit with the jabs sometimes, and just I don't want to spoil too much.
Okay, well, is there anything you want to talk about before we get out of here?
Yeah, man. I kind of wanted to talk about something. Like I said, man, it's hard for people from Rhode Island to kind of get they look. So I'm gonna just put out into like the world some things, man. Like I kind of had this list, Cam. You know, I put some things on it, just in case they can't see the QR code, you know. But I just kind of wanted to talk about a few things. Like I had a situation with no jumper. I just wanted to put out there, Adam. This is New England, Adam22. You could always come home. We'll still love you. You know what I'm saying? Start covering some stuff in New England, man. We got a whole scene out here, and I ain't seen one Rhode Islander on any of these platforms. You know, that no jumper circuit, that Vlad circuit. You know, and I feel like sometimes when I do some things, Cam, I kind of pioneer the way for people where I'm from, and like I set the example to go out and get it. And I don't know how I land on these things, man, because honestly, I'm not the dude to be doing this. Like, I'm the dude that makes music and lives his life regular. I'm not no rap superstar personality where I got something to put on somebody. So I always do these things just to up the bar out here, you know? Make people that got something better than me, because they exist. There's somebody better than somebody at everything. I want them to come and push out platforms. So sometimes I hit a pioneer level though, and I'm like, man, if people from Rhode Island did what I'm doing right now, I think that they could do it better than me. And sometimes I'm doing what I'm doing, knowing there's people out there. I got a list of names. I got a list of names on this, Kim. I was gonna read them all off. Those are people that I thought if they got on a platform like this, they might be bigger than me. So out in my state, you know, people have this crab in a bucket mentality where they might they might see an obstacle and they don't want to jump it. You understand what I'm saying, Cam? They'll see a fence with a gate on it and be like, bro, I'll just wait. I'll just wait outside the gate. Like, bro, go open that gate. Go open that opportunity for yourself. You know, so I feel like a lot of people, if they did what I'm doing and got to push themselves like I'm pushing themselves, they'd be up. And I have not much to do for them. I can't do much for them other than just get on a platform like this and just vouch for us. You know? All I could do is just say, hey, look, when y'all start looking at Rhode Island, y'all gonna see some real talent, some real people too, real stories. It's just, I can't be the one to come up here and say it. You know, you asked me about a lot of things that happen in the streets, man. I could introduce you to people, but I can't speak for them, you know?
I hear that, but okay, yeah. Okay, so Rhode Island doesn't get a fair shake, but I mean, you know, to be honest with you, a lot of small cities or, you know, a lot of places outside of your major cities don't really get a fair shake, you know? I mean, you know, even like, you know, St. Louis at one point, nobody was rapping from there, or we didn't care about St. Louis, you know? A lot of these places. So, you know, it's kind of like on the people there to make something out of it to where people actually go, oh, they got their own thing out there. You know, do you guys got like your own style? Like, is there like, you know how you could tell like if a dude's from New York or Chicago or LA?
Yeah, it's definitely a Rhode Island style, man.
You guys have a regional sound?
Yeah, we got something going on. I don't think everybody's with the program. I don't think everybody make the same music out here, but I think a lot of people do, and they don't even realize it. But you know when SoundCloud was really doing its thing, they had that genre called sad music or like cloud music. You know, like the A$AP Rocky or like the Lil Pumps, the X Tentacion, right? That's when everybody out here started making music. Chief Keef, you know? I started rapping on trap beats. You know, I'm from the Northeast, but I started rapping on Future beats. I started rapping on Drake beats. And that's what most people out here were doing. You know, we were rapping with Chicago dudes out here back in the day. They had Lil J out here. They had G Herbo.
Oh, so you guys would bring the Chicago guys out. So you guys are influenced by Chicago and drill. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of that. I almost worked with Ruga. You know, we had a moment where I almost worked with Ruga, but you know, I'm broke, Cam, so I can't pay the Ruga feature. Ruga makes some good money off his features, boy. Let me tell you something.
Who? Ruben?
Ruga.
Okay.
Yeah. He makes some good money. I'm too broke for the Ruga feature. I think a lot of Rhode Island rappers, you know, we great at music, but we're too broke for this industry.
Yeah, it could be kind of pricey. It could be a lot going on, man. You know, there's features and you got to get it cleared, and you know, music videos. It's tough to be a rapper nowadays. It ain't easy, man. It takes some money.
It is. Sure. It definitely do take money. It's fun though, you know? Like if you know what you're doing, you can recoup. You just got to know what you're doing. You got to have the right mindset towards it. You understand what I'm saying? I think a lot of people, you know, they fall short in this industry, but it's possible. But you got to understand too, you know, that the industry out here it's a bubble. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, tell me, you know, I'm some dude from Rhode Island. I don't have no manager. I don't have no nothing. You understand? I'm doing my own work out here. But if I'm not mistaken, doesn't the industry work off of like a loan, kinda? Like doesn't the record deal work off a loan?
The record deal work off. Well, I mean, you get an advance and they pay for everything.
I always heard that people had to pay that back.
Yeah, it's a loan, right?
So, you telling me that these rappers that's getting signed, they're getting loans, and they got to pay it back?
So you're gonna sign a deal, And depending on the deal, you know, you're going to get probably some sort of money advance. And then they're also going to give you a budget to record your music. So record it, video, features, all that type of stuff.
Okay. All right. And then that budget that you got is the part you got to pay back, not the advance.
Yeah, you got to pay everything back. They ain't giving you no money.
Oh man, Cam. See, put this tie back on, man. I might as well just put this tie back on, man.
Yeah,
Hey, look, if I get signed, I'm gonna say it like this. If I get signed, I don't know if they're gonna be able to work with what I need in my contract, Cam. I might as well just tie this tie up, you know, and just get back to work. Cause I will say, if I get signed, I want guaranteed money. I'm interested if anybody in the industry, you know, makes a salary. A rapper make a salary.
I mean, sometimes they get a salary, but it still comes out of their budget.
Oh man.
I mean, you can construct it, you know, depending on what type of leverage you have. You can damn near ask for anything, but you know, you got to have the buzz, and you know, yeah, you got to pay it back, bro. They're not doing nothing for free.
So I'm not gonna sign a W-9 on a label.
I don't think that's how it works, but I mean, you know, look, if you're hot enough, I don't see why they wouldn't, if that's what you wanted.
I mean, look, they listening right now probably. You could sign me for $20,000 and some dental. Actually, you know what? Some vision. You could sign me for $20,000 and some vision, because I got, you know, I need some new glasses.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm sure, you know, if you get hot enough, you could ask for that for sure.
You know? But that's one thing I always was curious of, because I'm wondering what the end goal is for a lot of these rappers, or if they're just in debt.
Most of them are probably in debt with the record label. If they have a record deal, they're probably in debt. Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah. I mean, you're much better off if you can do it independently. But independent's so hard, you know? You got so much, you need partners. You know, in reality, if you're going to do independent, you're going to need a couple partners that can handle business and do other for you, so you can just focus on being the artist, because, you know, it's too much for one person to do. That's why people go to a label. Like, if you ain't got nobody to be partners with you on your music, you know, it's going to be hard to be an independent artist by yourself and do everything. You know, it's going to kind of take the fun out of the making of the music.
Swear it do. I'll tell you, Cam, I do it all for myself, you know, from production, mix, master, engineer, video editing. No, I'll do all that myself too. The only difference is, though, I enjoy the process of it, you know? But I think a lot of people, that kills the fun for them, for sure. Because not everybody's built like that, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's sad, but, you know, I think a lot of people should just learn how to tie a tie, probably wrap it up, take themselves to a little job. I always tell people, you know, if you betting on these labels, because I know a lot of people just waiting to get signed. They just, you know, you might as well tie that tie up, go get yourself something good income. Well, you have something to pay the label back when it don't work.
There it is. Well, I appreciate you taking the time.
Cam, you already know, man. I appreciate this. I do this for Rhode Island. I do this for everybody that's, you know, watching and stuff like that. I hope y'all really appreciate Rhode Island, man. This the door open right here.
That's what it is. All right, bro. Till next time. What's up? This is Cam Capone. We got more content like this coming soon. So hit that like button, subscribe, and stay locked in to Cam Capone News.